Well, it doesn't matter. You can if you want. Sure, that's fine. See, this is part of the cloister. It's part of the cloister, right? So, in a true cloister, there are true cloisters where the people will never leave. I mean, literally, they enter the cloister and they'll spend the rest of their lives in that facility. I mean, quite often there's even doctors that come there. They won't even go to the hospital. That's what typically. It just depends on how that organization is set up. So this room is all about food. It's called the Refectory. You're going to see a couple things in here. One is going to be the largest, purportedly, the largest picture of the Last Supper in the world that Mal mentioned before we left the office. We'll kind of see what happens. Another chance for holy water if you're so inclined. Yeah, so this will blow your mind if you haven't seen this before. So, let me close that real quick. I got it. Okay, so on this wall, you'll see again a portrayal of the Last Supper. And there's a lot of things interesting in the Last Supper picture. And I'll point out a few of those to you. That's the Good Shepherd on that wall. There are 56 panels on the ceiling, and they talk about the four aspects of creation: air, fire, water, and something else. I think what the fourth one is. Going back to the Last Supper, 12 apostles there. But there are two people that don't belong in this picture. Far left is David, King David, and on the far right is St. Paul. Neither of them would have been at the Last Supper. If you study your Bible history, you will understand why. So we look around the table and look at the bottom left. There's a guy with kind of red hair. That would be Judas. You've heard of Judas before? Judas is the one that betrayed Jesus. Yeah. And if you look closely, he's the only one that doesn't have with this gold ring around, which would be called a halo around his head, because he betrayed Christ. Okay. So that's the way the artist has depicted them. Also in this picture, a couple other things come together. You may have heard the story of the loaves and the fishes, which are represented right there in the middle. And then you also notice a bucket on the left-hand side and the right-hand side with a towel, and that would signify that Christ washed the feet of the apostles at the Last Supper. Holy Thursday night. You see a risen Jesus, and of course Jesus sitting at the table with the lamb sitting there as well. You notice his hands, he has one hand on a chalice and one hand on a loaf of bread. Very symbolic in the Catholic Church teaching the bread and wine, which is called the life of the Mass. But the artist has fun sometimes too. You look on the far left, about halfway down, you see a salt and pepper shaker. I don't think that they were typically salt and pepper shakers in the time of the apostles. But anyhow, you see on the table this bread and this fruit, and that's kind of some of the fun things he does. Someone told me there was a bottle of Tabasco on it, but I don't think there was a bottle of Tabasco.
It's cool.
All right, and on the back wall we have Christ the Good Shepherd. There's all the sheep are headed toward Christ. We all want to join Christ. There are 9 vignettes on the wall, 4 on this wall, 5 on this wall, different aspects of food and the Bible.
Did the monks are able to have conversation during the meal, or are they
Somebody read.
free from that? That's not right.
I asked them, and if they asked them, we have 2 apps here. We have an app and a home app. The home app is not the long version. We actually have promotion. So it's kind of a good thing. Hey there, why come on in? Go ahead.
Not a unit students, you have ancestry.
Let's stay here. Right here.
Oh,
You'll see
no.
that in Catholic churches. I'm gonna let you explain that.
And people have it at their home. We have one at our home too. It's a reminder of the 4 weeks of Advent, which is the preparation of when Christ comes, the birth of Christ on Christmas Day.
Four represents the candles.
Well, they represent the 4 weeks of Advent in the preparation for Christ's birth.
Okay.
We just had the pink candle celebration. It's called Joy Laudate Week this past Sunday. So right now in my house, 2 purple candles and the pink candle have been lit. And next Sunday I'll light the fourth candle, which is another purple candle. And that's again just to signify that time.
Okay.
It's called Advent, a season of preparation for the coming of Christ. All right, last thing I'm going to tell you about is St. Benedict, behind you here by the door. St. Benedict, there's a book in the bookstore called The Rule of St. Benedict. And let's just say he was very stringent on his rules. There was a lot of rules.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to be a monk, you had to do the rules, right? Mm-hmm. There's a book of rules. And quite honestly, in many cases, the monks weren't overly thrilled with those rules. And so they were less than happy with him. So on at least 2 occasions, they tried to kill St. Benedict. And they both were kind of represented on this picture. If you notice a cracked wine glass with a snake coming out of it, the story goes is that they had poisoned his wine, so when he was drank the wine for dinner, he would die. But as he blessed the wine, the glass cracked and all the wine spilled out, so he was saved from that one.
Mm-hmm.
Another time on the right-hand side, you see a raven and a loaf of bread. They had poisoned the bread, and about the time he was going to eat the bread, a raven flew through the window, picked up the bread, and flew away. So those were 2 times, as history or as lore would say, is that there were 2 times that St. Benedict was protected internally from his monks. They were getting tired of the hard life of the monk. At least that's the way I understand it. So it could be a little different, but that's the way I understand it. So that's kind of what that is. Again, I mentioned to you before, their motto is Ora et Labora, so it's going to be pray and work. That's their motto for their existence here at the Abbey. And all that they can. I want you to turn this off while I tell you the next one. It's kind of a funny story.
All right. Hand painted.
Hand painted 9 months to paint this picture.
9 months. And it's how big?
I think it's 432 square feet.
432 square foot.
That may be the wrong number, but I can tell you.
Last Supper.
Get a picture of Malachi and I.
Sure.
At the Good Shepherd.
Okay. 32 square feet. That was a bit off.
All right, so we did a little bit more research.
732 square feet.
That's how big it is.
All right, sure. I'll take pictures of you guys.
Yeah.
You got the Good Shepherd, you said?
Yeah.